G'day guys, Jared here from IPLAYDIRTY, and today I'm a guest host on Simon Christie's 4-Wheel-Drive Pro Tips. Got some mates with me, we're about to go get dirty and show you our backyard here in Perth, Western Australia. So come along for the ride. Today we're at the Mundaring Powerlines track, famous around Australia and really close to home for us here in Perth. While only 24 kilometres long, it's perfect for a day trip but still has a huge variety of terrain, making it an excellent proving ground. I'm here in my old faithful Betsy, a 1988 Y60 Patrol, twin locked in 35s with an old TD42 to keep it going. I've got some awesome mates with me and we should be in for an absolute blast.
I'm Stephen from Oz 4-Wheel-Drive Equipment. Today I'm out with the IPLAYDIRTY team. We're driving the Fortuner.
Along for this trip is Steve. Now Steve and I have been mates for many years now, and for good reason. He's an absolute top bloke and very experienced off-roader. He's been a 4-wheel drive trainer, so he definitely knows his way around a 4-wheel drive and these tracks around here in Perth.
Fortuner we built to be a everyday driver with weekend fun. The reason we built it that way is to show people that you don't need all the bells and whistles on a car to go 4-wheel drive and have fun with your mates. We're running it with the TJM XGS suspension. We have a bull bar with the integrated recovery points. We have the scrub bars and side steps. We're running a single rear wheel carrier and a long range tank, along with a GME UHF and basic spotlights.
Hey, I'm Christie. This is my 92 GQ Patrol.
While it might not look much, Churchy's TD42 GQ is an absolute monster. This thing could be a comp truck if he wanted to.
She's a slightly different build to most. The idea was always low, wide, low centre of gravity.
It's got big horsepower, big tyres and big suspension travel. So we're sure in for an absolute show today.
My name's Shane and this is my 2016 MQ Triton, known as the Mad MQ.
Shane's brought his Mad MQ out on this trip and it'll be interesting to see how he goes, having spent the last year or so in Esperance.
Nothing too special, it's just the standard GLX base model. I've recently moved back to Perth from Esperance, and being down there, it's all just beautiful, lush sand driving. Going back to this hilly, rocky terrain, it was definitely something I had to learn again. Had tyres down and it's definitely slow going. Definitely one thing where we're lucky to be here in WA, with a massive variety of all drive terrain from Esperance beaches to hilly, rusted out, muddy clay hills. You can really get the best of everything.
I'm Brody, this is my 95 GQ Patrol.
This is actually a fresh build for Brody. Brody's had many patrols over the years and amongst other cars, but it's awesome to see him getting back to a wagon, actually a petrol for the first time with an auto.
My previous car was a 4.2 diesel, a manual, LSD rear and locker in the front. This one's got the locker in the rear and open front. Going to this from my previous car is a lot different.
Hey, g'day guys, I'm Adam and this is my G Patrol.
Adam's GU is definitely one of the most stock vehicles on this trip. That's because he's brand new to 4-wheel driving. He's out here to test the limits of this vehicle, learn how to 4-wheel drive and have a great time doing it. It'll be really interesting to see how he goes over the course of the day. A big part of it today is having experienced 4-wheel drivers with him. We're here to spot him through the tight sections and to show him how to drive his car safely while still having a lot of fun. Part of staying safe and keeping your 4-wheel drive running is knowing when to back off. Adam wasn't having the best luck, so he's decided to pull away and take a different path. Hang around after the ad break to see just what else we've got here at the Mundaring Powerline track. Coming to the first real challenge of the day, Betsy takes the lead. I take it nice and easy, first gear, low range, and let the diesel engine do the braking for me. Coming out of the valley, there's a couple of track options, and I've chosen to go one of the harder ones. With the 35s, 2-inch lift and twin lockers, Betsy just eats this up. Churchy's up next, and no doubt he's going to take the hardest line possible.
During the day we've been doing some nice rock crawling, which is the reason I built it this way. A couple of sections that are quite hairy for the tall lifts. Being as it's nice and low, it just eats it up. That's definitely played to my favour. As you can see, going down the descents, your body stays a lot more stable compared to most.
I know it doesn't look it, but Churchy really did pick the hardest line here, but he just walks up everything in this absolute monster truck. Next up, let's see how Adam goes with his first technical section off-road.
So this is actually Adam's first time out forward driving, and trial by fire couldn't be more true than ever. He's loving it. Up. Straighten up, this way. First real challenge today was the descent down towards Churchy's challenge. First time taking this on anything like that. It was really, really good having the experience of everyone else around me, guiding me and showing me what I needed to do, how I needed to drive the vehicle, and the way I needed to handle it. Really made a massive difference to whether or not I actually made it down there in one piece.
First challenge of the day, which was that main drop-in section. I had old recovery Jeff guiding me down. Just had it in first gear, low range, and went down nice and slowly. Being IFS and everything else, it did lift a few wheels, but no dramas at all. Seeing Jared go up in his patrol on that left track, I had to give it a shot. It's actually the first day I've had to use the new TJM Pro locker in the front of it, engage that instead of watching the throttle control, but managed to get up the hill relatively well. Didn't seem to struggle too much.
So as you can see, Shane knows his car quite intimately. Instead of just nailing it the whole way, he gave it enough throttle, just feathered it to get over the hump, and then backed off so he didn't break anything. So that's, you know, a sign of a good forward driver.
Straight up. Left hand, yep.
Obviously with the hill climbs you can see that going up and down the hills with this, it's the first time me using a rear locker, and what a difference it made for me. I didn't have to go hard on the accelerator pedal, and I just tried. A little bit of traction loss, which again is me learning the limits of the car, but I still, a little bit of acceleration, gently, and down we went and up we got. Doing the hill descent and hill climb, I picked a different track, mainly because, again, it's a brand new car. I wanted to learn its limits and not having the clearance some of the other guys done. We saw Churchy and the MQ do the harder line. Riding in this car, the way it's set up is comfortable. I've got the kids in the back, you can hear them giggling and playing along because it's just a beautiful setup where we're not wheel lifting too much and we're not getting bounced around. So I really am impressed with the Fortuner and can't wait to see what else it can do.
A couple of the hills coming up, I started to notice the difference between the diesel and petrol. Diesel definitely has a lot more torque. Petrol, I needed to keep the revs up. Coming down one of those descents, it was quite steep. I noticed the difference between the manual and the auto there. The auto, you're resting your foot on the brake a lot, where the manual, you can sort of put it in 4 low, first gear, and just let the engine, stop you from going too fast. That was a lot different for me, but having the guys around there sort of pushed me into it and got me through it.
Coming up, there's an even bigger challenge for our convoy to tackle. Stay tuned to see who makes it up and who needs a recovery. We've had a lot of fun so far, but now we think it's really time to step it up. We've come to this big, steep, rutted out hill climb. I've left it up to my 35s and my twin lockers. I'm going to get the front diff over, I'm going to nail it and see if I can get over the top. Churchy's two-tone GQ is far from what you'd call normal. Here in WA, he's really pushing things to the limits. With his suspension, he's running a 2-inch up travel and 11-inch down travel. That is insane, but it really gets his 40s moving. With the long arm kit front and rear, this thing sits stable no matter how hard he flexes, and it really shows. Churchy's really kept the centre of gravity as low as possible, even with his camping setup, opting not to have a rooftop tent, but sleeping inside on top of his drawers.
So although this is set up to make everything look fairly easy, we've got a couple of fairly stockish cars and they ate it up just as easy.
So after we finally made it up that hill, I turned left and see Churchy smashing some even more rusted out hill climb, and then knowing me, I can't back down from a challenge.
Next to Churchy and myself, Shane's MQ Triton is really quite basic. That doesn't stop him from giving everything a go and showing us just how it's done in the little IFS rig.
But that was probably one of the hardest hill climbs I've done this thing so far. Being only on 285s, just smaller than 33, 3-inch lift, it took a lot more effort. Thanks to April spotting me out of one section, hugged the corner and then gave it everything.
Shane has to drive a little bit differently to Churchy and I, making sure he picks the exact right line and grabbing traction on the sidewalls. As he doesn't have the big tyres like Churchy and myself, Shane really has to fight for traction on this hill climb. Luckily, April was there to spot him, gave him the heads up on a better line to try, and it just got him over the next hump.
The MQ came up straight behind me, sort of the more technical track, and impressed me that here's me, twin locked and big tyres, and he just come up just as easy. Really impressed with the other cars.
Jumping out of it, and we made it there in the end of it. But it was definitely a hill climb I won't forget.
With the three of us making up that awesome hill climb, the other guys going around on the chicken track, we're moving on to playing some mud. Stay tuned after the break.
Is it a bird? Is it a plane? It's recovery, Jeff! So,
Take a bath.
we're just getting our recovery gear ready. We're gonna have a crack at these puddles here. They look a bit deep and a bit soft. So people are driving them so they can do it, but El Fortuna might get a bit stuck, so we're just getting ready now. Save us trying to dig around in the water. You got big hands, Jeff? Yep.
Unfortunately, I got a little bit stuck. Again, that's learning my limits. So we had good old recovery Jeff get out there. We had already set up for the recovery just in case. We're using the TJM winch dampening blanket, recovery strap and gloves, and got straight into it and got me out, avoiding minimal damage with water.
Recovery Jeff hooked us up. A nice gentle pull, you don't have to go foot flat, you can just, good communication and tow him straight out, and everyone was safe, which is bottom line, so fantastic.
Watching the all-four-wheel drive equipment fortunately get stuck in that bog hole made me realise I really need to look at getting some recovery points to the vehicle, because if I got stuck in a situation like that, it would not have been as easy or as clean as pulling that vehicle out, as that's got the aftermarket fitted bull bar with the built-in recovery points.
It doesn't make it a proper day out on the tracks until someone actually gets stuck, and yeah, don't stare me down, man. And Steve had to be that one that got stuck in his tuner.
So that's why we had the recovery gear ready. Nice and quick recovery. There wasn't too much water that got inside, so luckily Churchy pulled him out pretty quick, and keep moving, have some fun.
That mud recovery had us itching for more action, so we decided to move on to the next big mud hole, which is quite popular here at the Powerline track.
So just had Jeff go through it. He's waded through for us. It's a bit cold by the looks of it, but he's checked. It's a nice, hard, firm surface. It's not that deep, so if we hadn't waded it, we wouldn't have known what it's like. And I think Shane's going to give it a crack because we know it's all right. So you going to do it? Yeah. Yeah? Yeah. Nice. Let's do it. Hey. Be funny if it's to the left.
Again, this being my first time full driving, I don't have much in terms of equipment, hence why I've gone with a crew of so many other people and other cars. Everyone else here is very well set up for this sort of stuff. First thing I'm going to do now is buy myself a bit of recovery gear, compressor and a tyre deflator, and go from there.
Today we also had Adam out in his GU Patrol. Adam's only just brought this car. I've been a full drive trainer for the last 15 odd years, and in my experience, Adam is one of the greatest guys I've seen out there as a beginner. He's really felt his way through the car, taken it with ease and took everyone's advice as needed, and not one recovery was needed by Adam. It will be good to see how Adam progresses through his full driving as he builds his car, and again, learning the limits of the car. I think Adam learned pretty quick what he can and can't do at the moment with the setup, so it was pretty impressive to see a brand new novice full driver getting out there and having some fun.
So the Powerlines has been unreal for us today. Got plenty of mud on our car. Adam had his first go forward driving and had a blast. We had a recovery. Churchy got to tear it up and we got to watch, which was always great fun. I'm Jared from IPLAYDIRTY, and I've been a guest host on 4Wheel Drive Pro Tips. Make sure you tune in next week for more action.